This is Rich, Hot, and Free. Welcome back to another episode of Rich, Hot, and Free. I'm Jill Stanton, and I am so fired up for this episode because we are going to be talking about a huge moment that all of us just stepped into, and it has the potential to absolutely transform your entire business and life and shift your whole trajectory this year, which sounds very dramatic, but it's true, and it's called the Year of the Fire Horse. And I was going to say, I know this sounds so woo, but if you're listening to this episode, then I got to assume that you're cool with the woo. So we're going to be getting into her today and really talking about how to leverage this once in a lifetime opportunity that we all have, because we just entered the most rare, most powerful, most expansive, energetic year that you'll probably experience in your entire lifetime. Again, I know this sounds so dramatic, but most people have no idea about what this is and how to leverage it. But the women who do understand this and learn how to harness it, they're about to have the kind of year that people talk about for freaking decades. So today I'm going to be breaking down exactly what this energy is, why it matters so much, and give you 5 shifts to really ride this wave and make 2026 the most unforgettable, most wildly magnetic, expansive year of your life and in your business. All right, let's get into it. So on February 17th, we transitioned out of the year of the wood snake, a year that it was all about shedding and introspection. And we officially entered the year of the fire horse in the Chinese zodiac. Halla freaking Luya. I need you to understand how significant this is, because the fire horse only comes around once every 60 years. Okay. The last time we experienced this energy was 1966. Let that land. You'll likely never experience this kind of energy in your lifetime again. This is like a big moment. And I've been diving deep into what this all means, because when I started learning about this, I was like, holy shit, this is literally the energy that I've been feeling and talking about for the last few months now. So let me explain, or let me break down what I've been learning, because I think it can be so freaking powerful for you. All right. So the horse in the Chinese astrology or Chinese zodiac represents freedom, speed, and forward motion. Okay. The horse doesn't stand still. She doesn't wait for permission. She's not asking if the timing is right. Okay. The horse moves. Now, add the fire element to that, and fire is the most expressive, most outward, most passionate, most transformative element in the 4 cycles, or in the cycle in general. Okay. Fire amplifies everything. It brings intensity, it brings courage, it brings boldness, and it brings this unstoppable creative force with it. So when you combine the horse's natural energy with fire, you get the most dynamic, daring, ambitious energy that we've experienced in the last 60-year zodiac cycle. And here's what I love about this, okay? 2025 was the year of the wood snake, right? And snake energy was all about shedding. I know you guys experienced this as well. It was all about letting go. It was all about introspection and releasing what no longer serves you, right? And I know a lot of us felt that in 2025. 2025 stripped a lot of us bare, right? It certainly stripped me bare. My marriage, my business, my identity, my relationships, my friendships, so much of it got dismantled. But that shedding, that was preparation. That was the snake clearing the path so that the fire horse could gallop through 2026. So the fire horse doesn't tiptoe. She doesn't ease in gently. Okay. She bursts in with huge energy, and she demands that you move, not move away from something, but move towards something. Okay, towards yourself, towards what you actually want, towards a deeper sense of truth for yourself, towards the woman you've been becoming this whole time. Okay, I saw one astrologer describe the fire horse as following what your soul has been telling you to do. And another one said it was like pouring gasoline into your car. And I love that, because this energy is available to all of us right now. Okay, but it has to be channeled. It has to be directed with intention. Okay, you can't just squander it, because here's the thing about fire. It can fuel your expansion, or it can burn you out. All right. It rewards the women who move with clarity and conviction and courage. And it will absolutely pass right by the women who are still sitting in hesitation or self-doubt or waiting for the perfect moment or operating from their 2025 identity that kept them stuck. So if you've been feeling this pull, this like restlessness, this hunger for more, this sense that something big is available to you, but you haven't really been able to step into it yet, that is the fire horse calling you forward. That is the energy of 2026 calling you forward. And today I'm going to give you 5 shifts that actually help you answer this call and make this year the year that you look back on and say, that was the year that changed everything for me. Okay? So the first one is to own what you actually want. All right? This is where it all starts. And I'm going to be real direct with you on this one. Okay? Most of you are rounding down. You have a number in the back of your mind, a goal, right? A vision, a desire, something you actually really want. And then you drop it. You minimize it. You drop it so it feels more doable or more achievable or more realistic. You make it more reasonable because the real thing feels too big or too bold or too greedy to say out loud. So you say you want the 500K year, but then you tell people that you'd be okay with 250 grand. Sound familiar? Or you want to be known as the top voice in your industry, but then you keep playing it safe so you don't ruffle any feathers. Have you done that before? You say you want the freedom or the body or the lifestyle or the recognition or all of it, but then you keep qualifying your desire, but with like, but I'm grateful for, insert thing here. And listen to me, gratitude and ambition are not opposites, okay? They've never been. You can be deeply grateful for where you are and wildly hungry for where you're going. Those two things are not in conflict, okay? Melanie Ann Layer, she runs Alpha Femme. She always says one foot in gratitude, the other foot in desire. And I think that sums it up so perfectly. It's like, yes, be grateful. And also, it's good to want more. It's good to push yourself. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to name it. The real goal, the real vision, not the safe one, not the one you post online, the one that makes you nervous. It makes your heart speed up. It makes your brain go, oh, isn't that a bit much? That one. That one. Name it. Write it down. Say it out loud to yourself. Put it on a sticky note. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. Okay? I did a whole goal bingo card with this energy at the start of 2026. It was actually one of my clients, Rochelle, who told me about this. And you print out this like blank bingo card and then you write down all sorts of goals on it. Such a fun idea. And the way that I did that is I've really tried to think of like, if this year was one for the books, like if I could only ever win this year, wouldn't it be cool if? And then I just let all the ideas flow. Like even the ones where I was like, bro, come on, how? I still put those ones down because I'm like, well, I have no fucking clue how. But shit, that would be really fucking cool if that happened. So whatever that is for you, write it down. Besides, if we can't get a little unhinged in our private blank bingo cards, then like, where are we going to get unhinged, right? Where are we going to generate that energy and become that version of ourselves who actually brings these things to life if we can't even admit it to ourselves? Okay? The fire horse energy reminds us to stop negotiating with our own fucking desire for 1 second and open up to the frequency of possibilities this year. Because like, wouldn't it be cool if? So speaking of that, okay? Tagging onto this, the second one is to grow from a frequency of possibility, not from a place of trying to protect yourself from disappointment. Right? This one is going to hit some of you really hard. I have a feeling, but I'm just going to say it because a lot of women are doing this and they don't even realize it. Okay. So after a year like 2025, I think a lot of people's nervous systems recalibrated to like protection mode, right? I get it. Like same. A lot of us went through it in 2025 and a lot of us learned to brace ourselves for unpredictability or disappointment. Okay. It left a lot of us feeling like we were on the edge. It left a lot of us like white knuckling things. And when that happens, you start building and growing your business from this energy of like, I don't want to get too excited in case I get disappointed. And so you buffer yourself. or you lower the price you were going to charge because you don't want to get rejected. Or you lower the stakes for yourself, or you over deliver in your offers because, if you give enough, maybe no one will complain. Or you set more realistic goals because if you aim low and hit it, then at least you didn't fail. At least you didn't let yourself down. But here's what I need you to see. That behavior is self-protection. And you're disguising it as being smart. It's self-protection masked as wisdom. And it's an energy of contraction. And you cannot build an expansive, magnetic, abundant year from contraction energy. Okay? It's an energetic mismatch. It's energetically incongruent. And the year of the fire horse asks you to build from a completely different place. It's asking us to build from possibility. Build from a place of, what if this year is the year that everything clicks? Build your business from a place of what would I create if I knew it was going to work out better than I ever expected? It's asking you to build from what would I do if I wasn't waiting for the other shoe to drop? How would I show up? Now, that doesn't mean being reckless. It means being honest about your decisions and where they're coming from. And many times when I say this stuff, people think I just mean more money. But I mean who you are being and the actions you are taking, the offers you are selling, the mindset that you are operating with, okay? The things you allow yourself to go after, the goals you set, the content you post, the things you want to say, the people you want to work with, okay? Are you making these moves? Are you making these decisions? Are you taking these actions? Are you showing up this way because it's the safe thing to do? Or are you operating that way because you've just always done it that way? Or are you making these decisions? Are you making these moves? Are you showing up in that way because it makes you feel alive? And because you believe in yourself and what you want to do and the work you're here to do? That is what I mean when I say operate from possibilities and not from protecting yourself from disappointment. Are you doing what you're doing because you truly zing with it? Or are you doing it because you think you should? So I want you to ask yourself that. I want you to ask yourself, where in my business am I building from a place of protecting myself from disappointment? Where am I making decisions designed to prevent disappointment instead of create expansion? Get honest about that. And then ask yourself, what would you do differently if you genuinely believed that this was going to be your most expansive year yet? How would you show up differently? Because it absolutely can be, but not if you're trying to avoid feeling let down or trying to control all the outcomes. All right? Now, the third thing is say the thing that you've been editing out. I guarantee you 90% of the people listening right now have a too much filter running in the background of everything you create or say online. You probably had the hot take, but then you softened it. You had the opinion, but then you bit your tongue. You drafted the post, but then you deleted it. You had the bold thing to say on your podcast or in your content, and then your brain went, maybe that's too much. Or what if someone disagrees? What if someone gets triggered? Or I don't want to deal with that kind of pushback. And so you edited yourself down to say something safer. And I get it. I did the exact same thing for years. I know how tempting it is. And sometimes how freaking insidious it is to operate this way. And your audience can feel your conviction. They can feel you softening and not being all of yourself. I promise you. They might not be able to articulate exactly what it is that's off for them, but I fucking promise you, they can feel it. They can feel you being timid. They can feel you playing it safe. They can feel you watering yourself down. People can sense when you're holding back, okay? They can feel when you've sanded down your edges to be more palatable. And it doesn't make them trust you more. It actually makes them trust you less. Because on some level, they can tell that you're not being fully real with them. And the fire horse energy is the most expressive, outward-facing energy in the entire zodiac. How cool is that? This is literally the year where being yourself at full volume is the most potent, profitable, magnetic thing you could do this year. And dimming yourself down, like editing yourself, watering yourself down, playing it safe with your message or with your content or with your offers, that is the most expensive mistake you could make all year. Because fire horse energy amplifies whatever it is you're already putting out there. So if you're putting out diluted, careful, like, please don't misunderstand me energy, that gets amplified as well. But if you put out the real stuff, like the unfiltered takes, the thing only you can say because of your experience and your conviction, that gets amplified at a level you won't even experience again for another 60 freaking years. So here's your move for this next year. Say the thing, okay? Post the content that's been sitting in your drafts. Hold the boundary. Record the episode you've been too nervous to record. Share the opinion you've been keeping to yourself. Like, let your audience feel your actual frequency, not this watered down version of you think they want. Please, God, no more watered down takes. Please, God, no more watered down content and vanilla ass takes on social media. Okay? The women who are remembered, the ones who build movements, they didn't get there by being agreeable. Okay? They got there by being all of themselves, unapologetically, out loud, on purpose. That is fire horse energy, and you should totally fucking leverage it and see how potent your message can actually become this year. Okay, the fourth one, and I understand I'm getting very feisty with these, but the fourth one is raise your freaking standards for what you're willing to tolerate. Listen, most women in business talk about their income ceilings that they want to break through. They talk about hitting the next level. They talk about hitting the next financial milestone. They talk about scaling to the next level of their business. But what almost nobody talks about is your floor. And your floor is the lowest point that you're willing to tolerate before you actually fucking do something about it. And for most women, that floor is way too low. So you'll tolerate months of inconsistent income before you actually change your sales process. Or it looks like you tolerating clients who drain the life out of you before you adjust your boundaries. You'll tolerate feeling exhausted or running on fumes before you take care of your health. Do you see what I mean? You'll tolerate feeling unseen and not met in your relationships before you have a hard conversation. And what happens when your floor is that low is you end up operating from crisis energy. That looks like you only making changes when things get bad enough, or you only take bold action when you're desperate enough. And desperation is truly the worst energy to build from because it creates frantic, reactive, short-term decisions instead of powerful, intentional, expansive decisions. And the fire horse energy, it really moves or raises that floor for what we are no longer available for. Okay? We are no longer available for just getting by. You're no longer available for it's fine. You're no longer available for mediocre results or misaligned clients or offers that feel draining as fuck or a life that looks good on paper but doesn't feel alive to you anymore. And this includes your relationship with money, okay? If your emotional floor around money is I'll stress about it when the bank account gets really low, then you're always going to be building from survival energy, not abundance. You're always going to be locked in scarcity. Raise the standard for that. Decide that financial stress is no longer a state that you're willing to sit in. Not because everything is perfect, but because you refuse to let fear run your financial decisions from here on out. Okay? When you raise your standards around money specifically, you stop building from crisis energy, you stop building from scarcity, and you start building from inspiration. You take action because you're excited, not because you're scared. Okay, you make moves because you're expanding, not because you're scrambling. And that is the energy of the fire horse. That's what the fire horse rewards. Not the woman who's running from something, the woman who's running towards something because she's decided that good enough is no longer fucking good enough for her. Okay? And then the final one is to make the stretchy move. All right? And to me, this is the one that ties everything together. So you've owned what you want. You've shifted from protection to possibility. You've committed to expressing yourself fully. You've raised your standards. Now comes the part where you actually do something with it all. And I'm not talking about like this massive burn your life down kind of move, okay? I'm talking about the stretchy move that is just outside of your comfort zone. The one that makes your stomach flip a little bit. The one where your brain goes, are you really going to do this? And then your soul answers like, hell yeah, we are. That one. Because here's the thing about fire horse energy. She does not hedge her bets. She does not have one foot in her old identity just in case the new one doesn't work out. Absolutely not. She doesn't have a plan B that allows her to stay exactly where she is if things get uncomfortable. Okay? She moves, and she moves big. She makes big moves. Moves that require her to operate as the bigger version of herself. Moves that require her to double down on her courage and her self-trust on a whole deeper level. And here's the thing, you might already know what that move is for you. Actually, I bet you do know. I bet you have a move in mind that feels stretchy for you right now. And also, this will be a year where you can go so big that stretchy moves will absolutely be required. Like they will have to be a non-negotiable if you truly want to maximize this year. And that's why this year is so clutch for so many of us, because the fire horse energy says there will never be a better time than right now to make those kind of big moves. The energy is here. The momentum is available now. The cosmic gasoline is literally in the tank. All you have to do is press the fucking accelerator. Hit the gas. That's it. All you have to do is move in service of the magic that you want to create and experience and have this year. Not in a reckless way, in a decisive, intentional way. That is how you ride the fire horse energy. And if this energy is the energy that you're calling in or the energy you're already anchoring into for this year, then I want you to come join me for the VERGE. Okay? The VERGE is the perfect fit for this kind of energy. It is fire horse energy. So this is a live hot seat coaching experience for women who are right on the edge of their next level. All right. It's for the ones who can feel it, the ones who know that they are on the verge of something big. They know that something bigger is available to them. But there's this pattern or this blind spot or something you can't really see that's keeping you from fully stepping into it. And this is what I do best. I get into a room with you. I see the thing that you can't see. I name it, I dissolve it, and we get you back into motion in real time, live. In the hot seat with me. It's basically the ultimate fire horse move. Like tap into coaching, get the jolt, get the upgrade, get the moves, and then go blow shit up in the best way. Okay? So the link for that is jillstanton.com/verge, or you can hit the show notes if you'd rather just scroll down and get it there. Again, this is our fucking year, chicks. This energy doesn't come around again for another 60 years. So let's soak it in. And I encourage you to seize this opportunity and use it to create your biggest, most magnetic, most expansive version of you yet. You get one life. It's here now, right now. So don't just listen to this episode and nod along and then go back to business as usual. Pick one of the 5 shifts that I talked through and do it. Make the move. And let 2026 be the year that you look back on and you say, I left it all on the fucking field this year. That's my intention for you. So if this episode activated something in you, then come tell me about it in DMs on IG. Shoot me a DM at I am Jill Stanton and tell me which shift hit the hardest for you. I want to hear how you're putting this energy in motion. Okay. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, who needs a little kick in the pants, or who is not aware of the fire horse energy and the season that we're all going into, I would so appreciate if you would share this with them. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for letting me gel at you yet again. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.